EHS lines that we were shown earlier is open facade. What a good idea in that location. And here's one of what I would say, let us not allow. Because we have our beautiful harbour, and the images that were put on there is just to show some of the height and scaling. You know, do we really want to allow our beautiful town to be despoiled in this way? I mean, I personally just say no. This is from Torbay Urban Design Guidance. This was formally adopted in May 2007. I don't believe this has been repealed. So I'm sure you can read this, but Torbay has a unique sense of place, unique microclimate, thank heavens, and geography. And then if we look, well, I'm not sure actually, unfortunately, it currently is the UK's most popular holiday destination. However, it is true that each town has its special characteristic and identity, individual neighbourhoods and areas within the towns. And it's this bit. New development should build on and enhance this sense of place, with consideration of Torbay's unique environment, townscape, character and urban form. If you write this type of documentation and you pass it, should you not abide by it? So whether we're talking about Torwood Street, whether we are talking about Princess Gardens, doesn't really matter. The issue is that we have a mayoral vision which disregards its own council's advice. So what I would say, and I suppose my parting thing, is that May is our opportunity. May is a tipping point, as it were, a tipping out point, maybe. There are a number of people who are going to stand, and they're standing as independents. Independents for the Bay. Not on party ticket, because by not being on a party ticket, you cannot be subject to the party whip. So maybe some people here will consider standing, but stand in every ward. And I know we've got some people from the council here, so we'll see you in May.
Thanks very much for that, Fiona. As our next speaker, I'm going to welcome up Chris Adamczak.
So what I'd like to say is that Polish novelist Wisława Szymborska said that politics is everywhere and everything is connected with politics. In our daily life, we can't escape from it, from politics, even if we wanted. So if we can't escape from it, we should be trying to do something. A year or 2 years ago, I didn't care about the politics, but one day I realized that what's been happening around affects me actually also. So I think that the problem with the politicians all over the world is mainly that they are chosen by people, and after election those people are not being taken under consideration, they are not being listened anymore. And most of us, I think you and me, we are not aware of, you know, of the situation of local politics and what is being happening around. Just people, when we had the stand, people just were coming, and people were really surprised to find out what is going on. So what I realized, I'm really happy to be here and just say that the people have power actually and right to change something, and we can change really the things. A good example is Babacom Downs. What else actually? Yeah, so we can change and we can force some important people up there to rethink these strategies, I think. And I believe that those strategies should be discussed and actually consulted with people, with local people. And people of views and opinions should be taken always under consideration. So it's just probably obvious, but it's kind of my viewpoints, I'd like to say. I'm really happy to be here, as I said, because this situation can be applied to another country in the world, but really can change something. Thank you.
James.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. I'm a completely unimportant person. I'm not a leader, but I would like to say the only thing we can do, after all this talk, and it's wonderful, what these people have done today is wonderful. They've done hours and hours of work to get this together and probably had lots of nervous thoughts. The only thing I think we can do, personally, is take away our consent. And when I say take away our consent, I mean these people who we have put in power, we must take away the consent so they don't have the power. And the only way I can do that, I don't want to stand here and chat for hours because I think they've done everything, they've said everything, and we're all tired, sick of it, aren't we really? The biggest problem we do have in this land at the moment is yes men. And it's obvious what's going on. It's happened before, and we're seeing a repeat of history. And the trouble is, we're all involved in it because we all have jobs and we've all got to pay for our mortgages. And that means we end up doing things we don't want to do, but when we really question what are we doing, it might be too late. It might be too late. And this could be too late now. And I'm talking about the country, I'm not just talking about this tiny little plot of land down here. We're talking about the whole country. This is happening not just in Torquay. There are councils throughout the land having visions. There are prime ministers having visions. And, you know, the trouble is we sit and watch it every night, and for some reason, we can't do anything about it. We haven't got John Lennon anymore. You know, we haven't got a silly little man who'll get up and be a clown and be shot. That's what it takes, it seems. And I don't want to be shot either. Because once this is gone, it's going to be years. And none of the kids, I talked to some kids this morning, I've been going around with this board saying, please come today. I talked to the kids, and the kids who have got the old skateboards and scooters, they didn't believe me when I said soon there'll be flats here and you'll be allowed to go along that little bit there, but you won't be allowed to go here and you won't be allowed to go there. And they go, you sure you talked about mister? But the trouble is adults are saying that to me too. Nearly every adult has said to me, they won't do that. They can't do that. And seriously, that's what they say. And I look at them and go, well, you go and watch Coronation Street tonight and forget about it. Because I tell you what, they're doing it. Right now they're doing it. Right now they are making sure they're sealing their future. There's another thing I'd like to say too. Not long ago, in the newspaper, this wonderful Herald that we have here, that I've been writing to for ages, they very seldom print my letters, but basically they had an article, and several articles, about Freemasons. Are there any Freemasons in the room, please?
They won't be seen.
Right, so these very people that apparently the Herald says have no effect on Torbay. Can you remember the article? Right, so they have no effect on Torbay. You know, just remember that. So if they don't have any effect, all of us can have even greater effect because we haven't got them to fight against.
I'd like to talk about this rather than my photograph taking.
Well, I'm fed up of talking about it.
Completely voluntary.
I've heard a lot of people talk about it today. Now, the terrible thing is, all we've come up with so far is that in May we won't elect councillors that are putting this forward.
Yes, it is a public meeting, and so far you've done all the talking.
No, I haven't done all the talking.
Invite him up.
The whole idea is not to cause an argument, it's to be for a chance to be grown up.
Surely you must carry the meeting open to the public.
Would you like to take this microphone a minute, please, sir? Can I take the microphone? Because I think you've obviously got something in your heart. Let's get it out. That's what this is about. This isn't about status, ego. This is about getting on with it.
Well, my name's Steve Parrock, and I'm the Chief Executive for the Torbay Development Agency.
He's got something to defend.
Yes.
And I've come along
we
here
know about
this
you.
afternoon because I live about half a mile from Prince's Prom. I live about half a mile from this hotel. Right? And I live in Torbay because I love Torbay. Right? And I very much get upset when people suggest that I love Torbay any less than people who are opposed to some of the things that others are trying to do in the bay. Now, I've come along here this afternoon because I thought we were going to talk about Princess Prom. Okay, and we've spent a lot of time talking about lots of things, all right, not a lot of it about Princess Prom, frankly. Now, I think this is actually fantastic, a great meeting, all right, but I think we need to turn the energy in this room into something positive. You've told us quite clearly what you don't want to see, right, but you haven't told us what you do want to see.
Look, this is not
This is not for that.
So,
This is not for that.
so
Steve, a question.